Happy 4th of July, everyone, which is coming up. That weekend is coming up. So sometimes we have to allow people their dignity. I was at Popeyes yesterday, and at the counter, there was a man that was in front of me, and he was struggling to make the payment. He had a bunch of change in his pockets, and he was pulling out pennies, nickels, dimes. I'm not sure what it was. I just heard a bunch of clinking on the counter, and he was just laying on the counter as he was buying his meal. And I was struggling for a moment, wondering if I should help, if I should help this person. But I held back. And the main reason I held back is there's three reasons, but the number one reason is because I want to allow this person their dignity. I didn't want to take away this person's dignity. So, like, by me helping, by me reaching out, it might have got the he might have got the impression that I'm thinking I'm better than him, and I'm not. I'm not thinking I'm better than him. I just see him. He's struggling at this moment as I've struggled at my moments, and I was just going to reach out and help. But I hesitated. I hesitated for a few reasons. One of the reasons, he didn't ask me. He didn't ask for my help. And because he didn't ask for my help, I mean, I was standing behind him. He didn't know I existed, but he still didn't ask for my help. So because he didn't ask for my help, I didn't help him. Number two, the person at the counter was so gracious, so helpful, that there was no need to jump in. If this person was a jerk, I would have probably jumped in and paid. But this person was pulling out this money. He was short $1. It cost $8. He had $7 in change, and he was short. He says, "This is all I have." And the lady at the counter at Popeye said, "That's okay, I got you." And she covered it. So there was no need to do anything there. And then the other reason was that, I didn't want to, the main reason, I just didn't want to take away this person's dignity. When I was watching this thing, what went to my mind was when I went to the hamburger stand many years ago with my daughter, who was 3 at that time. And I was in school. I took her to school with me, and I didn't have a lot of money. But there was a place I can go, which is called the hamburger stand. They're still around, where you can get a burger at that time for $1. And I knew that would be perfect for me and my daughter. So I go to the counter with my daughter in hand, and I did my order for a couple of burgers, whatever it was. And I was just like this person in Popeyes. I only had change on me. I had pennies. It's embarrassing. I had pennies. I had nickels, dimes, maybe a couple of quarters. I don't know. But I'm paying with change. So, lots of change. The lady at the counter at the hamburger stand, she starts laughing at me. And then she questions me about what am I doing. And then she throws up her hands and she says, "I can't do this." And she's laughing, right? And she walks away from the counter and she leaves me standing there. And she goes in the back. She's talking to her friends. Now they're laughing at me, and I'm standing there with the money, the change on the counter, wanting to pay for this order, and they're all laughing at me, all of them. So finally, somebody comes up, another lady, and she's laughing too. While she comes up, she takes my change, counts it, and then she gives me and my daughter our food. And she's laughing the whole time, and everybody's laughing. But I take the food, me and my daughter take the food, because that's all I could do for her on this day. And we eat, and we make the best of our day. But they humiliated me. They embarrassed me. This is all I had, at that day. Today I'm different, but on that day is all I had. I just wanted to, after going to school, take my daughter to lunch, something that we both can afford, something that we both can enjoy. And this is what they did. So this is why when I see people in this situation, like what happened at Popeyes, I'm sensitive to it. I'm watching it. I'm analyzing. If I can jump in and help, it's just a few dollars. If I can jump in and help somebody in need in this way, I'm going to do it. But I want to be careful not to overstep somebody's dignity. I want to be careful in that way. So if he didn't ask for my help, I'm not going to offer. I'm going to do it if he asks. If I saw the people at the counter being jerks, laughing, making fun, I would have stepped in. But they wasn't laughing. They were very respectful, almost like they knew him, but they were very respectful. They took his money. He was short. They didn't care. They moved on. They allowed this man his dignity. So it's like, shout out to those folks that were at the Popeye's Chicken where I live, or how they handle this and allow this man a dignity. And that's when I say, you know what, when I get home, I'm just gonna do a video on this. But the thing is, my last point. On that day when I was with my daughter at the hamburger stand, and I'm not in pain over that. I've long past gotten over that. I went back though. I asked for the manager. He wasn't there. I went back. I waited 2 to 3 hours. You know, me and my daughter took for a walk. We spent time at the park and all this stuff. I came back because that's how upset I was. I came back 2 or 3 hours later when the manager came on shift, had that discussion with the manager, told him I was going to talk to the corporate office, on and on and on. And when I came back, those ladies were still there. The ones that were laughing at me, they were still there, but they wasn't laughing then. They wasn't laughing then. They were scared shitless. They didn't think I was going to come back. They looked like they were trying to hide in the back. I don't know what the situation is, but that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is that even though somebody's struggling in that moment, you don't know. It's just in a moment that they're struggling. They're not going to always be struggling. You got to help people out with their dignity at least. I was struggling that day. I'm not struggling today. I have my own other struggles, but I'm not struggling today. So that's just my point. Take it for what you will. Peace and hope. But shout out to those folks at Popeyes. Shout out.